Someone just lost $1.6 million on their Hamilton home. They bought it in the peak of the market for $3.25 million. They just had to resell it for $1.85 million less than 2 years later. Now, once you add on your land transfer tax, your property fees, your breach of mortgage contract, you're going to have a total loss here that is larger than the average detached home in the GTA or even in Toronto. Today, we're going to talk about 3 properties, real people, real losses, and real ramifications here in the market right now. First property we're going to talk about was 166 Concession Street. It's in Hamilton. We are going to start with the most brutal one first here. It's a 3,500 square foot home. Definitely a beautiful home, as you're going to see here. I'm going to have some pictures out here for you. It was bought for $3.250. It's very suspicious the way the numbers look, and I'm going to show you that as well. Fast forward, they're just selling it now for $1.850. That's a loss of $1.4 million, but that's only the beginning, because land transfer tax here, $71K. Realtor commissions, 5%, $92K. You're looking at legal fees, approximately $15K, $30,000, and maybe mortgage penalties as well. That's going to bring you to $1.6 to $1.65 million of a loss here. To put that into perspective, yes, that's more than your average detached home, or maybe even multiple properties. If you're talking Oshawa, Cambridge, or even parts of Brampton, you might be able to buy 2 homes for the price of the loss that's been taken here. Now, let's take a look at the property. 166 Concession Street. As you can see here, sold for $1.850. This just happened 6 days ago. Very, very fresh wound here on the market. Now, before we look at any of the details, I'm going to show you the pictures of this home. So it's a 4+1, 6 bathrooms, 2-car garage, maybe a car and a half, but we call it a 2-car, nice long driveway. But let's take a peek at what the actual interior of the home looks like so you can get a real sense of what we're talking about. So just a visual of your location here. Right inside we go. So nicely done home. It's obviously had renovations that have taken place. You've got nice accent walls, nice lighting, nice flooring. It is open concept, and it does scream luxurious, which is great. You're spending $1.8 million in Hamilton. You would want it to scream luxury. Now, as you can see here, kitchen is beautiful. I do like the woodwork that they've done. I like the color palette that they've chosen here. It's a very, very nicely done home. Very interesting accent wall there as well. And they spared no expense. Obviously, even your bathroom has the nice wallpaper, has nice fixtures. They have done this whole home. Now, the catch here is this home does have an in-law suite in the basement that can be rented out, as I get through these pictures here very quickly just to show you what is actually happening in the basement. Now, the in-law suite does need a little bit of extra to be done, but it's a big, big property. As you can see, there's a lot to it. Now, the big thing is this property. Look at the history of this one here. It has just been attempted to be sold for quite some time. Now, we're talking about this sale here that happened in June, or rather it's September of 2022, for $3.25 million. They just sold for $1.850. Now, we're going to look at the 3.25. It is the, same home. Pictures actually aren't as good right now as they were. This is not doing it justice, but the interior in this case was staged. So yes, it is in fact the same home. Now, what I want to actually show you guys here is this home has been played around on the market for so long. You can see it was here for 1.9 at one point, then 2.8, then 3.2, 3.3. So they really played around with this. And I guess the developers are the ones who were trying to maybe originally sell it here. As you can see, you've got Unison, the developer name. So it's possible that that's the big issue. But when you're looking at this property, the history, it took a long time for anything to happen. It's taken a massive loss. There's no question about it. I don't wish any ill will on anybody, especially a loss of $1.6 million. But the big confusion for me is, why was anybody spending $3.2 million in Hamilton? I don't think a property like this with a neighbor right beside you is going to be worth this price. I think there's something a little bit strange about this whole situation. I don't think the value here makes very much sense personally. But somebody paid $3.2 million. They are in the position where they now have to go and resell it. And guess what? They can't resell it for a price that's even remotely close. They've taken some massive losses here. So before we move on to the next property, what I want to talk about is, these numbers, they're definitely hard to hear. And it's easy to think, oh, this person screwed up. They made a bad decision. But these numbers, they show another part of the market right now. Like, things are a little bit more difficult in today's real estate market. There's the pros, there's the cons, of course. But if you are somebody who bought something in 2021, 2022, this is not an uncommon situation. Losing $1.4 million, yes, that's uncommon. Using 1.6, very uncommon. However, it's not uncommon to have a loss here. Now, at the end of the day, the truth is they're taking losses. There's emotions that are part of this decision. People have to take these losses. Potentially they are over leveraged. They're not able to keep making the payments on these massive homes. You have to remember, rates were at record lows. Bidding wars were out of control. The average buyer, they felt extremely stretched. They wanted to get a home. This was not an average buyer here, but your ability to negotiate was not there. And in today's market, your ability to negotiate is absolutely there. So things have changed quite a bit, as you can see. But my real concern is, I don't know if this home should be worth 1.850 in today's market either. Something to really consider is we are still in Hamilton paying $1.85 million, where you could really get a lot more for your money somewhere else. But to each their own. Somebody might love Hamilton, and that's why they ended up spending the $1.85 million. So let's talk about the next property. Next property is going to take us out to Thorold. You might say, where the heck is Thorold? This is more out towards that Stony Creek area, and I wanted to give you a little bit more context because it is literally happening all over the place in Ontario. It's not just the GTA where prices are kind of getting shafted for every single seller. It's happening everywhere, and this Thorold property on 1224 Uppers Lane is another example. So this is a detached home that was sold in January 2022 for 1.150. So even back in January, you're spending almost 1.1 and change for a detached home in Thorold. Doesn't make sense now that you think about it, but that's what people are spending. Now, just sold in April, $755,000. So we're talking another big loss, almost $400,000 loss in this case, with closing costs, legal fees. You're going to have your land transfer tax, you're going to have mortgage penalties. You're talking $450,000 loss on this property. It's a newer 3-bedroom plus 1, 4 bathrooms, finished basement. So it had some nice things going for it, but the purchase was made right at the peak. And I'm going to pull the pictures up here and really show you. It is just your average detached home. Has some curb appeal, I would say. Here are the numbers. 1.150 sold. They weren't able to recoup much of their cash. Obviously, they tried to even go $899, and then they had to take a $755 offer. It is only 1,595 square feet, so it is not a big home. But let's take a look inside just to see if there's anything extravagant. And unfortunately, there is not. So it really makes you think how somebody spent 1.1 plus on this property when they bought it a few years back. But this is what we're dealing with. It's not the case of the last property where the home actually looked really nice. The price just didn't line up. In this case, the home looks okay, but it has builder basic finishes. You have your laminate countertops like you have here. You have carpet throughout the upper level of the home. You have standard bathrooms with no upgrades. Your kitchen also very basic, but you had a finished basement, and your tubs and showers were just the inserts. So there is really nothing particularly special except for maybe having the basement entrance dug out as a potential to put something in the basement for additional income. But that's it. That's all there is here. This one, it's a nasty one. I don't think this should have been worth $900,000, let alone 1.1, but it even took place out towards the Niagara area. Now, hey, let's talk about the positive side of the market for a second here, because it's not all bad right now. Yes, selling today might mean you're getting less for your home than it was worth in 2021 or 2022. But the flip side of this conversation right now is whatever you're actually upgrading into, which is important to think about, that home is also down significantly. And if you're upgrading, that home has taken a bigger hit, even if it's the same percentage as your current home. So you're actually looking at a gap that makes a lot more sense now than it did in 2021, 2022. You might have lost 100K on your sale, but you might be getting 200K off of that upgrade to go to that detached home that's going to give you a little bit more space for your family. So the market right now, there is opportunity if you're looking to move up. I think that's really who this market right now is for. First-time home buyers, there's a lot of hesitation, and if you can get a good deal, might make sense for you. But the market right now is for somebody who wants to upgrade from a townhome or a condo or, a semi-detached, and they want a detached. This is who should be transacting in today's market. And the third, final property we're going to talk about today, it's one in Brampton. We have a lot of people watching this channel that are in the Brampton area or in the GTA. So we are going to hit the GTA with this one here. And this is in Brampton. Just sold. It's a freehold townhouse that just sold for $840,000, as you can see here on the screen. The beauty about this is somebody decided it made sense for them to pay $1.230 million. $1.2 million for a freehold frickin' townhome in January 2022. I just don't understand how we were there, but apparently we were there. Let's take a look at the pictures from 2022. They were not wowing me. The home looked fine. It had some nice finishes, but it's not something that screams $1.2 million at all. You have carpet upstairs still. Your bathrooms have some quartz and countertops, which is great. Not a hundreds of thousands of dollars upgrade that this property has seen. Let's look at the pictures from today just to see if anything at all has changed. Now, great. The property is actually a power of sale. The bank has now taken possession of it, and the owners could not obviously keep making their payments on this home. They overstretched themselves, and this is what you can end up doing. If you overstretch yourself, you're going to end up in a position like this, where you're not able to keep making your payments. And this home, it's nothing special. It had more square footage than the Thorold home. That's a plus, but it's in Brampton, and somebody spent $1.2 million for this home. You need to really think intelligently, no matter when you're transacting. Think about if it makes sense to spend $1.2 million on a Brampton townhome. It doesn't, but somebody did it. Thankfully, I have not had this situation pop up with me and my clients. I'm pretty honest with them. If I think the home is extremely overvalued, especially back in 2021, 2022, we were very cautious with how we were putting our offers out there. We were making sure that we weren't going crazy, but these prices are just unbelievable. This is an example here that somebody was experiencing FOMO. What am I going to do? I need to get into the market, and I'm going to spend $1.2 million on this home. The bank said, sure, here's your mortgage. They laughed, and now they take possession of the home. These guys obviously didn't have enough equity in the home. The bank got possession of it, and they were able to do power of sale. Very, very sad situation for somebody. I do hope that this person was able to get out of there and not financially ruin the rest of their life or their family's life, because it does look like maybe there was kids in this home as well. But let's be clear, this market it's not great for some people right now. We're going to talk before we end this video just a little bit about like what's happening in the market. Now, these properties, they're not teardowns, they're not bad homes, but they're regular homes. People made bad decisions at the worst possible time. So what we can learn is, first, did the market correct itself? Absolutely. The market's correcting itself in real time here, and we're going to have more of these properties popping up over the course of the next little while. It's just a nature of what we've created from 2021 and 2022. There's a lot of affordability issues that are now arising. because those people who bought in 2021, 2022 have mortgages that are coming up for renewal very soon. And maybe their 2% mortgage is going to be a 4% mortgage. Can they afford it? That's going to be something that we really need to keep our eyes on. Buyers today, your opportunity is with a lot of these type of properties here where people are having to do power of sale, figuring out, hey, who are these people, trying to track them down based on days on market, when they bought it, and some of this stuff you can access on free sites like we've been using, or you'll have to use a realtor to figure out what properties have been sitting around longest based on the back-end information that we do have. But be strategic. If you are going to get into the market, be very strategic, whether it's just buying maybe a first property. If you want to get an investment property in today's market, think about if it makes sense. And if you are that move-up buyer, I think you're the perfect person to do anything right now in this market. So make sure you're targeting homes like this and make sure you're setting yourself up for the most amount of success. If you're interested in this type of video and you want to know what else is happening throughout the GTA, we've got several videos on the channel, but I'm going to pop one right here for you that I think you might be interested in, especially if you're interested in hearing about why people are leaving certain cities, especially Toronto. Thank you so much for watching this video. And in the comment section down below, which one of these three was the most surprising loss for you? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye for now.